Welcome back to New Zealand, everybody. This week, we're heading deep into the heart of the South Island to explore the legendary Aoraki Mount Cook region.
Conditions could not be better, literally. This is jackpot.
Get ready for world-class views, unforgettable adventures, and for the first time on this trip, a few personal challenges to overcome.
It's not where you go, it's who you're with. And I'm on my own. Oh, bloody hell.
As you can see, this place is breathtakingly beautiful, but not everything will go to plan today. So let's jump on a bus, hit the road, and see what unfolds. So, to get to Mount Cook, I booked a public bus all the way up from Queenstown. Now, New Zealand has almost no train services, so unless you've got your own transport, buses are your best bet to get around. But if you're like me and you're going to be using buses, make sure to bring your wallets, because travelling by bus in New Zealand is not cheap. I paid 200 New Zealand dollars for a one-way ticket from Queenstown to Mount Cook. In fact, my return ticket was 250 New Zealand dollars. That being said, the bus ride was beautiful and I got to work on my edits. We stopped for an incredible lunch of steak and eggs.
This is not a bad lunch.
And the views all the way up were absolutely incredible. And towards the end of the journey, New Zealand's highest and most striking peak finally came into view.
The whole bus journey has been so nice. Our bus driver has a little earpiece and he gives us the history of the towns and of the power stations and all of the things that we're driving past. And this is just a public bus. I don't know if that's actually part of the service of the ticket or if he just likes to do it to pass the time. And obviously after that beautiful lunch, we're driving towards Mount Cook itself and it's right in front of us. And he's just found a nice little spot on the side of the road for us to take pictures. New Zealand's tallest mountain right in front of us in all of its wonder.
Mount Cook, known as Aoraki, has a lot of interesting history and fun facts. Some of the earliest conquerors of Everest came here to train, and to this day it's very popular with mountaineers who come here to practice ice and glacial climbing. But according to Maori legend, Aoraki is the tallest of a family of brothers who were all turned to stone. And so it's not considered just a mountain here, it's a living presence or a guardian. And standing at 3,700 meters tall, it pierces the sky and to the Maoris bridges the gap between the earthly and the divine. Anyway, now that we're here, let's check in to our hostel.
Okay, welcome to the first hostel on this trip. This is the Haka House hostel here in Mount Cook. And I chose it for two reasons. The first one is the coach actually uses the hostel as a station. So it's actually a coach stop. So I knew I didn't have to walk too far. It literally dropped me at the doorstep of the hostel. Very convenient. Secondly, it's really nice. It's got a beautiful little terrace that I'm enjoying out here in the sun with amazing views of the nearby mountains. And it's also really close to a lot of the trailheads for some of the popular hikes in this area, which of course I'll do in a minute once I've checked in. And it was reasonably affordable. And I also saw at the front desk you can book a helicopter tour. I've checked the weather and tomorrow it's going to be sunny just like this, but then it's going to rain on the final day. So I just booked a helicopter tour for tomorrow morning. So that should be fun. So what I'm going to do is just kill a little bit of time, check in, get settled, unpack a little bit, and then go on an afternoon hike.
Not far from the hostel is a local visitor centre and the start of about 3 or 4 fantastic, well-known hiking trails. And as you can see here, there's a few great options, so you could easily spend a few days exploring 1 or 2 trails a day and really get to know the peaks in this area. However, and as I'll mention later, there were some issues regarding the trails that meant I couldn't go explore as much as I wanted. The UV today was stronger than I've ever felt anywhere else before. So I was really thankful that the visitor centre sold sun cream and I was able to apply some factor 50, because without sun cream and my sun hats, hiking in this sunny exposed area would have been extremely miserable.
And as you can see, bird song, blue skies, not a lick of wind. Conditions could not be better, literally. This is jackpot. we have struck the jackpot, especially because it's been cloudy and rainy for 2 days, whilst I had a rest day in Queenstown and a travel day to here. And whilst I've been driving through the valleys, it's cleared up. I mean, the gods are looking down on me on this trip so far in terms of the weather. If you've been following along so far, in Queenstown we had incredible scenes. Then on the Milford track we had rain and sun, which is exactly what you want to see it in full flow. Routeburn was a bit of a washout for the first day and a half, but then that revealed itself in its truest form. And now Mount Cook is just there. Uninterrupted views of the tallest peak and arguably the most beautiful peak in what is quickly becoming, in my opinion, the most beautiful country on planet Earth. Honestly. Okay then, just met a nice Liverpool fan. We were just exchanging stories and just been admiring the view. But there's no Keas here, the beautiful friendly parrots that we saw in the Milford track. So I don't know why it's called Kea Point. I can't hear them, I can't see them. Normally they would be very vocal. And there's no shade. So the view's incredible, but I'm getting cooked alive a little bit, to be honest. It is really hot in this sun. So I think I'm just going to chill and turn around and relax. The weather forecast is similar to this tomorrow, so I think I might do a hike either early in the morning or later in the afternoon, just because this sun is brutal.
When I made my way back into town, I was feeling a little bit under the weather. There aren't any supermarkets, not even a convenience store up here, so I couldn't make myself anything healthy to feel better. I had to settle for this pizza in the only pub in the village, and safe to say, the food was a bit shite. Feeling sick and a bit down in the dumps, I headed back because I was really excited to experience one of the magical things about being this far away from any large cities or towns.
Hello, I just wanted to make sure that the torch was working. I've just been filming the stars because there's not much else to do here. And wow, how much fun I've just had. The moon is about to come up, as you'll see in one of the photos, and probably ruin the night sky. But I've had about a good hour here just sharing, taking pictures of what I can see with my human eye, and the iPhone does a really good job of accentuating it, but honestly I've never seen anything like it. I share some of the photos. They'll start off a bit shit, but as I dialed in the settings and figured out how to do it properly, I can't believe how good some of these pictures turned out. So check them out and enjoy the night sky in New Zealand. It's so clear, it's so wonderful.
The following morning, it was time for my helicopter tour of Mount Cook itself. The weather was fabulous, and so whilst I have this window of clear skies, I was really happy to book on a tour last minute. I looked at a few different companies that offered different types of tours, but this one had the best deal, so...
And I decided to book one for two reasons. The first one is, look how beautiful it is, and the weather is going to change tomorrow. So this is the perfect time to experience the glaciers and Mount Cook from a very unique perspective, and I think it would make a great video, and it will just be a fantastic adventure. And the second reason is, the little village of Mount Cook itself is, there's nothing going on there. There is a hotel, there is a hostel, there is a pub, and it's in a beautiful location, but with the UV and the crazy amount of sunlight, that kind of gave me a little bit of sunstroke yesterday. I didn't really fancy going hiking today. I booked this company called the Helicopter Line. The reason being is they were the best value that I could find on Klook. I book a lot of things when I travel on Klook, train passes, activities, hotels sometimes. They are one of my sponsors of the channel, but they're not actually sponsoring this particular video or anything. I just thought I'd let you know that I booked this through Klook because I got a really good deal. Close up to these rocks now. Touchdown, any second now, any second now. Very, very smooth. No bumpy ride here today. Wow. Fresh snow. So down in Mount Cook itself, guys, the bit of the glacier that you can see, it's all covered in black rock. It doesn't really give you that feeling. There's only one thing that we can possibly do here in this unspoilt snow. And that's a snow angel. That is a pathetic looking snow angel. You can see there is a hut up there, which must be the base of operations for some of the peaks. They also do a lot of heli skiing here as well in the winter. So you get the helicopter up to here and it'll give you hours worth of adventures down the glacier onto the slopes below. And I feel like only via the helicopter could you get to this. You wouldn't really easily be able to hike up here unless you were some kind of mental mountaineer. Oh, I'm just realizing I'm getting short of breath because of the lack of oxygen. I don't know how high we are, but from sea level where we started, you can really feel it. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here in New Zealand on a glacier, on the tallest mountain in the country. What a thrill. Okay, so I just spoke to the pilot and yeah, we are at 8,000 feet. So I think just over 2,000 meters. So yeah, we can feel the air quality. And then he just told me that these huts are based, yeah, for mountaineers and people who get dropped off and ski around here, explore around here, and then they get picked up again by the helicopter, which is incredible. What a hobby that must be. The last time I did a helicopter tour was with Michael in Patagonia, and they gave us a glass of champagne and it was very bougie. This one, a little bit more laid back. We've got a lot more space to explore. I think I just want to sit down, actually. It's so beautiful. I just want to sit here and take it all in. The other helicopter that we went with the same company, there's a family of 5 from India, and my helicopter, 4 people from Australia, actually. 2 couples. I did think that I would get the front seat because I'm on my own, but I'm happy with where I'm sat. It's a great view, and we can watch the pilot maneuver and stuff. Oh. This trip to New Zealand, I don't think I'm ever going to forget this one.
The return leg of the flight was by far my favourite part, and if you're wondering, by the way, the flight time in total was around 45 minutes, which is pretty good value for the 500 New Zealand dollars that I paid.
So we are actually flying right alongside Mount Tasman and Mount Cook, the second and tallest mountain in New Zealand. That right there is the summit of Mount Tasman. That's the second tallest mountain in New Zealand. This is the glacier that the hikers will climb and struggle up and over to reach this ridge line, which then takes them up to the summit of Mount Cook, which is literally right there. That's literally the highest point of New Zealand, and it feels like I could jump out of the helicopter and make it up there in 10 minutes. We're so high up at this point. This is some cool stuff, and I feel like we're just about to go through a very tight little passage of rock here as we go right past the summit of Mount Cook itself. Just like that, we're back.
Okay, we're nearly done. I just need to decide whether to buy this $30 photograph of myself. No, I don't think I will. Okie dokie. I think this is probably the best time to finish the Mount Cook episode with a little bit of a Mount Cook review. Now, I do want to preface my review of my Mount Cook experience with the following fact. Almost the second I finished that hike up to Kea Point earlier in the video, I started to feel really sick, very fluey, and I think the sun really cooked my brain, and I limped back and passed out. And even this morning, I almost missed the helicopter flight because I was completely zonked out and dazed and confused. I'm feeling a bit better now, but basically the most of the time I was here, I wasn't really feeling very well, wasn't feeling very joyful. So that definitely affected my experience here. But this series and this channel is all about documenting the real traveller experience. Now, you might absolutely love Mount Cook. Here's the thing. The hiking here is quite limited.
and at the time of filming they had some issues with the hikes and they were under maintenance, and most of them don't open until 10 a.m. So getting up early and enjoying the morning, light, and before the sun starts to blast you is not possible. You can't actually go onto the trails until after 10 o'clock, which is not something that will affect you. It just affected me. I don't know what they're doing, but they're maintaining the trails. And from the very limited trails that they do have here, they all kind of overlook the same place. And when I went up on the helicopter, we saw so much more than you could ever see on the trails that I didn't really feel the need to go out there and explore later today. And again, it's been so bloody bright and sunny, I just didn't want to get boiled alive again in the heat. In fact, I was hoping it was going to be cloudy, and I've just checked the weather forecast, and tomorrow it's going to be sunny again. I can't believe I'm complaining that it's too sunny, but I think you know what I mean. The other thing that I need to say as well is this town of Mount Cook village. There's only one road leading up here, and it's the kind of place that if you had a camper van, right, and you were travelling New Zealand, you would drive up this road, you would take a picture of Mount Cook, you would do one of the 3 hikes, and then you would turn around and you would leave. There is nothing here. There's one hostel, which is this one. Good hostel, but doesn't sell beer, doesn't sell alcohol, and everyone's on their phone. I mean, this is the traveller experience in the hostels these days. I go into the communal areas, I buy a bottle of wine from the bottle shop at the helicopter cafe, because there isn't a supermarket here, and my idea was to meet someone, have a glass of wine with them, and just get to know someone. But everyone's screen controlled in there, scrolling away. I think they should have a rule in hostels. If you want to be on your phone, that's fine, do it in your room. If you come into the communal area and lie on the sofa and lie in a beanbag in the communal area, then you need to be communal. You need to communicate, you need to be like chatty, because otherwise it's absolutely monotonous. Anyway, one hostel, one really overpriced hotel, and one pub, which is selling really crappy food, and it's extremely overpriced. And it has a great view, but that's all I can say. Mount Cook Village is boring, guys, really boring. And so, yes, Mount Cook is incredibly beautiful, but it's also incredibly dull. You only need one night here, max. Unless you really want to get stuck into every single hike, then maybe you would need 3 days. But you would just get 3 different variations of the same view of the beautiful Mount Cook, and arguably the best view was on the bus on the way here. That was my favourite view, as well as obviously in the helicopter. But the helicopter's so expensive, right? Not everybody can afford to go on a $400, $500 helicopter ride. I just needed to squeeze as much content out of this place as possible, because if I hadn't gone on that helicopter ride, there would be no episode. I would have scrapped this episode, and it would have cost me a lot of time and money to come all this way, and I wanted to share my experience, and it is incredibly beautiful. I just had a bit of a miserable time here, and that's just my honest experience. Nothing against Mount Cook, it's just how I feel, and my channel is about how I feel. This channel's called Paddy Doyle, it's not called Mount Cook, alright? Now, do I recommend you come here? Absolutely, it's incredibly beautiful. I'm probably going to look back at this footage and cringe, because it is so beautiful. But it's all about the feeling. No matter where you are, you could be at the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, but if you're a miserable bastard, you're not going to enjoy it. It's not where you go, it's who you're with. And I'm on my own, in a hostel, drinking a glass of wine. Oh, bloody hell.
In the next episode, we'll be heading south to a beautiful town called Wanaka, where I will be back in good spirits and we'll have some of the best times on our entire trip of New Zealand. If that video is already live, you can click right here and watch it right now. If you did enjoy this video, by the way, hit like, hit subscribe, it's completely free to do and it would really help me out. And I'll see you very soon from a beautiful part of New Zealand.